You know, it's very interesting. You know the adage about if you point at somebody, I'll do it up, and you have one finger up and these other fingers curled back against yourself. So you have one finger up and three fingers pointing back to you. Okay? Well, the statement we got is pretty much like that. It says, I work with chickens. They are stupid. This is anthropomorphism. It sure is. Because this person is taking human qualities and applying it to chickens and saying because they're not humans, they're stupid. Well, are they? Or are they living the way God created them to be? They're supposed to be chickens. And as far as I'm concerned, they do a pretty good job of thinking about what it is to be a chicken. Now, maybe chickens have some faults, like the pecking order and things like that. But even with that, chickens act as chickens. And if they're not kept the way, like the humans try to keep them, but they're free, they'll even roost in tree branches. We have to think about animals as God created them to be. And as far as I'm concerned, most animals are living the way God created them to be. Now, I've seen, one animal raised by other animals, and sort of they live like they belong in like that part of that animal group. But that's an exception to the rule. God gave animals certain qualities, and they live that way. Now, a chicken, if we think about it, is no different than a robin or any other bird. They live, they lay eggs, they sit on their eggs, and they hatch their eggs, and they grow into new whatever bird it is. Humans exploit that, and it sounds like somebody who's exploiting chickens that would make the statement that they're stupid. I've heard people call other people stupid. And I don't believe any animal is quote unquote stupid just because they don't act as humans. And if we don't love God and the whole of his creation and have compassion and empathy, we don't recognize them as types of created beings in God's heavenly will. And we need to learn to do that. Excuse me. And if we do, we won't think that they're stupid or anything else because they don't act like humans. We're going to be glad they act as chickens or deer or any other animal, because that's the way God created them to be. Amen.